Hey, what is up guys? It's Traizel, and welcome to the 5th episode of the TraizelCraft lore series. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the political dilemma of Dystopia. How did Traizel keep his people intact? Why did all of the people of Dystopia believe that Traizel could uphold a nation, unlike the leaders before him? And what allowed Traizel to keep the peace of the nation and prevent a political uprising amongst the citizens and leaders? I'm going to go over all of that in this episode of the TraizelCraft lore series. And without further ado, let's get started. This lore video will go over how King Solomon Traizel gained such a powerful position with limited reputation and trust, as well as one other person that used his extreme charisma and political skills to overcome the scare of a nation. It was not long after the US collapsed that Solomon Traizel immediately conversed with his fellow military leaders about an idea he had. He thought he could use the remaining military strength, which was still fairly decent, and start in Chicago, where they were located at the time, to reach across all of the US and regather the lost people of the US, and spread the word that they would be bringing up a new nation. They will build strength along the borders and gain enough power to sustain themselves and claim a new country. Since the US was already crumbling, the land would be open for the taking, so they would have to act fast. About 6 years later, Traizel had succeeded with his plan and brought up a new nation called Dystopia. It would be ran as a monarchy, and Traizel would be their new king. Now, although Traizel was a great battle strategist and military leader, he was nowhere near the ability to lead a nation of people and sway them one way or the other. Traizel was always horrible at persuasive speaking. He could never seem to get someone to do his bidding when it came to do anything beyond war. Now that Traizel was the king of a nation, he needed an idea to help him when things got tough. Not necessarily in terms of battle, but in terms of keeping a nation of people at peace and preventing violence amongst them. So, Traizel knew one person that can serve by his side for this very reason. Let's back it up a bit to the 2050s during the US collapse. It was during the 2050s that a young man by the name of Adrian Shiza was drafted amongst hundreds of other young citizens of the United States. Adrian, like many others, was forced to help the US during desperate times. The US, however, still collapsed in the mid-2050s. Before the collapse, Shiza caught the eye of many generals and officers with his extreme charisma and attitude. He naturally stood out from the others, and with the higher-ups of the military, they offered him opportunities, and Adrian was intrigued. Eventually, about 8 months before the collapse, Shiza was encountered by one of the highest generals of the US military by the name of Solomon Traizel. Solomon was impressed by his ability to sway a crowd and stand his ground. He saw potential in Shiza. Solomon knew the US would not stand much longer, and he was scheming a plan to retake the land after it fully crumbled. Adrian Shiza was the first person that Traizel invited to be in his new quote-unquote court during and after reclaiming the lost US land. Being Traizel was not the best speaker, he knew Shiza would be vital to his team. Fast forwarding to the Golden Age and Dark Reach times, Shiza did all of Traizel's political speaking and propaganda. He was the voice of Traizel. Traizel only left his massive tower in Ireland in important events and emergencies. Other than that, the people saw Traizel through Shiza. Anything Shiza said became Traizel's word, and it worked wonderfully. Traizel and Shiza became a powerful pair of fire and ice. Traizel set the fires of expansion and war to create a nation and maintain it, and Shiza laid the ice to prevent the chaos that would follow. And with that, that is going to be the end of this episode for the TraizelCraft lore series. I hope you guys enjoyed. I got a lot more in the series. If you have been looking at my posts recently, I actually have a set schedule. I'm going to be making a video every Monday and Friday. I'll be streaming on Wednesdays, and I actually have an event I'll be do every weekend. Now, it's not guaranteed. I will be trying to do an event every weekend, given that I have time. But I have a set schedule, so expect a video every Monday and Friday at least, and usually, potentially, there'll be another lore video. So if you do enjoy these and you play TraizelCraft, this is all about TraizelCraft. Let me know. I'll do more of these, try to do more of these instead of different videos. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you are new around here, don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, peace out, everybody.